A lot of companies don't leave public cloud because it failed. They leave it because it worked until it stopped making sense. That shift is what people now call cloud repatriation. What is cloud repatriation? Well, it's simply means moving workloads out of the public cloud and back into on-prem, colocation, or private infrastructure. It's not about going backward. It's about reassessing where workloads belong once things stabilize and make sense. What's interesting is that this isn't new. Companies have been doing this for years, long before there was a name for it. We were seeing teams quietly move workloads back several years ago. They just weren't calling it cloud repatriation yet. And to be clear, public cloud works really well in a lot of situations. It's often the right choice for smaller companies, new products, or workloads that are unpredictable and need some flexibility. If you're moving fast and don't know what demand will look like, cloud is usually exactly where you should start. If you're small and looking to scale quickly, cloud makes sense. Where things start to change is, once workloads stabilize, once they become heavier, if you're using GPU, if you're using AI learning, when things become more predictable, costs stop becoming temporary. Cloud is optimized more for the change and the uncertainty. Most businesses eventually optimize for stability. I like to think of it a lot, public cloud being a lot like the streaming services. Early on, Netflix came out, it was cheaper, it was simpler, and it was obviously better than cable. You paid for what you used and didn't have to think about the infrastructure. There was no cable box. You didn't have to have one in every room. But over time, you didn't just need Netflix. You had multiple subscriptions, Hulu, Disney, HBO, and suddenly the cost quietly crept up and exceeded what cable was. On top of that, they started adding commercials and different tiers, making things more complicated and, quite frankly, unpredictable. Where's that show I want to watch? That's the same kind of pattern we see with public cloud. Now, why aren't more people talking about this? Why most companies aren't publicly mentioning about leaving the cloud? Well, it's not because it's rare. It's probably more because it doesn't always fit the narrative. Especially with a publicly traded company, when you're talking to Wall Street, they want to hear buzzwords like cloud and AI and moving forward. And the idea of cloud repatriation sounds like you're potentially moving back. There's also internal politics. There's vendor relationships to think about. And sometimes it's not comfortable if you made the decision to move to say, this made sense at one point, but now it doesn't. And so cloud repatriation isn't about rejecting the cloud. It's about making sure that workloads are in the right place at the right time and, in the right situations. It's not about going backwards. It's about thinking forward.